everyone, welcome back to another video. I've been wanting to talk about this topic for a while now, and I'm extremely late from when it was trending. I'm not joking. I put this idea in my notes in 2024. It's not 2026, but that don't even matter because it's still happening, so I can still talk about it. Something actually happened recently that makes this content relevant again. So what I'm talking about today is using child predators for content. And I have a little statement before I continue. I noticed online when people would have this same take as me, they were being accused of being pedophiles for some reason. So let me say this, my raw, unfiltered opinion. Pedophiles are sick people that deserve to die. Until that day happens, they deserve to rot in prison. This video is not me defending pedophiles. Everyone except pedophiles know they are the scum of the earth. But this is not the way to handle them. Messaging random strangers online pretending to be teenagers, and then when you meet up with them, you literally do anything but bring them to justice. I think people seem to forget this is content. This isn't doing anything. These sting operations are literally just baiting predators to the house to be forced to do things for their entertainment. These dudes are just gonna go back home and groom even more children, just a lot more careful this time. But at least these content creators got 1 million views for shaving their heads or making two creeps fight. I'm really glad you guys are paying your rent off the backs of exploited children's pain and suffering. Pedophiles shouldn't be used for entertainment. Pedophiles should be locked up. And by recording these videos, you are actively hindering an investigation. Every time these clips go viral, someone's always putting their hands on another person. And while pedophiles should not see the light of day, their victims also aren't going to see justice, because that action of fighting them gets your entire case thrown away. Let's not forget that time Chris Hansen kept Onision from going to jail because his team refused to give actual evidence. It has gotten to the point where an 18-year-old has gotten physically assaulted because he wanted to meet up with a 16-year-old. That is a 2-year age difference. I understand you may think that's a little odd because he's 18 and a legal adult, but again, that is a 2-year age difference. That is a senior in high school and a sophomore in high school, possibly even a junior. That is a normal-ass relationship when you are that age. This isn't like a grown-ass 32-year-old man trying to meet up with a 16-year-old. It's a teenager and another teenager within 2 years of each other. So many actual predators are online, and if you're going to commit to the bit and make this type of content, you might as well target those actual predators. But that would require actual work and not just mimicking the lingo of a minor on Instagram. And the main person I'm going to talk about today, because I really think he actually started this trend, correct me if I'm wrong, is Vitali. And I'm talking about him specifically because of what happened recently, which I will get into. But first, Vitali's whole YouTube gimmick has been being a nuisance in public, eating strangers' food at a buffet, asking guys in public if they want to bang, stealing license plates in the hood. Remember when doing things in the hood was a trend, and it was literally just going up to random people who happen to be black in a random neighborhood? Joey Salads, I'm talking to you, bum-ass racist bitch. But Vitali has always tried to get a reaction out of the public to go viral. This is no different. This era of catching pedophiles is just him keeping up with the times. It's no longer 2016, and people now just find content like what he did annoying. But if you throw pedophiles in there, no one can now call you out because they're going to seem suspicious. This is all just for money, not about justice. If he took the pay away, Vitali and all these other people would not care to do this at all. He had Akon on his channel, catching these creeps with him. Mister, I humped on a 14-year-old Akon. Your predator is right next to you. Vitali himself is someone who attacked a female jogger at one point. This guy does not actually care about predators. He's just happy he's able to be physical and hurt people and have people cheer for him. And I'm sure you guys have seen the false accusation recently around Vitali and his content, which is what I want to focus on today. I actually just found out about this even though it happened like a week ago, so I think that's really sad. I think this should ruin Vitali's career in my opinion. Vitali and his group accused Akash Singhania of being one of these predators they're catching, and I've actually never seen a clip of like Vitali doing this. So if he's always this disruptive, none of these cases are ever going to stick, like I already said. One of the other men in the group is even more aggressive. Like this guy with tattoos is yelling and cursing at Akash and not letting him explain anything. He even says, "Don't look in my eyes, bro. I'll fuck you up." That just proves my point from earlier. These are just violent men who want an excuse to be violent. Now with Vitali, right off the bat, he's literally speaking in an Indian accent and making noises with his mouth that mimic their music. And it's not the only racism he commits, because later on, he accuses Akash of being one of those tech Indians with the double Snapchat. This is because, as a woman in Vitali's group is showing her messages where she says she's 16, Akash points out, that's not his profile. But this is when the guy with the tattoo gets aggressive and starts his yelling. And he does make a reference to CNC, which is a kink. It's consensual non-consent, which I have my own feelings about. But regardless, the big part of it is consent. He's threatening to do things to Akash that Akash talked about doing to the fake woman. That defeats the whole purpose of the consensual non-consent and just makes it non-consent, which makes it another threat. And from my understanding, they have been texting like back and forth for a while now. It's not like the bait woman texted him a simple hello and Akash was like, I want to hold you down and then walk you down the alley like a dog. That didn't happen. Like that, it's very common to get into your kinks with people you are talking to in a sexual manner. That's how they progress. That's how you get a relationship. And we know this woman has never told Akash she was 16. He was under the impression she was 18, which is also something they do. In this video alone, it's implied the bait told the man she thought was Akash that she's 18 before they begin a conversation, and then pictures are sent and horny words are said. But then she basically told him, tee-hee, I lied, lol, I'm 16. That's what they always do. Vitali and his group message men first and send photos and sexual messages, and they jump around their age. Like, you're not catching predators. You're purposely creating them. Except with Akash and his actual account, she forgot to tell him she was 16 years old. And throughout this confrontation, you can kind of hear Vitali making remarks where he's second-guessing this, but it don't matter because this tattoo guy ain't allowing anyone to explain anything. In the background of him yelling, you can hear Vitali saying, did we get the wrong guy? With a channel where you do things like this, you would think Vitali himself would read the messages or make sure everything is right. Akash is literally trying to show these two the messages, and the tattoo guy is just going off on him. They get a thrill out of this. They found a humorous earlier that Akash was shaking and asking why he was doing that. Gee, I wonder why someone filled with adrenaline because he's surrounded by 5 guys who are accusing him of being a pedophile is shaking. The other account blocks the bait woman as they are all on camera, and they're literally still yelling at Akash that he did it. One of them says, you've been clicking buttons and deleting shit. Y'all are all up in his business. Do you think he'd be dumb enough to log into an account that he swears isn't his and block her without literally any of you idiots seeing? What would the point of that even be? Maybe the other account blocked her because she revealed she was actually 16, which goes to show you that they are purposely creating pedophiles. This guy is getting so much joy out of how stressed out Akash is right now. Look at that smile on his face. You don't give a fuck about children, dude. Stop playing in my face right now. I don't even care. Get a new career path. After minutes of straight aggression and insults, Vitali decides to be an actual adult and figure the situation out. That doesn't happen for long, though. He finally calms his friends down and allows Akash to tell his side of the story, something he has been trying to do this entire time. And a bit of a side note, but as I watch this specific stream, I just don't understand how you can watch something like this and think to yourself that it's good content. I don't know the type of person who sits down to watch this, but I want to take a guess and say it's like 35-year-old white men who voted for Donald Trump and think that in an active shooter situation they would take down the shooter. I don't know, like, who else would be doing it. Like the guys who still wear DCs and snapbacks in the big 2026. I don't know. But back to the stream, and like, despite everything that has happened so far, I genuinely think this was the most unbelievable moment, and I'm just gonna play the clip because it is so crazy to me that I can't even explain it like I have been.
I'm gonna just show you everything one by one, okay?
But you are Indian, so you are smart, so you probably cheated the system.
No, but for Indian...
Bro, again in the middle of me talking, bro, I asked you guys. Holy shit, I was just perfectly, like, I was getting a perfect fucking farm clip, and then somebody had to... Okay, hello, how are you?
Casual racism aside, he openly admits he's looking to farm clip. The definition of farm clipping is like the exploitation of a situation with the goal of inauthentically gaining online attention. You can just openly admit you're only doing all of this for views, and you still have people defending you. That's wild. I said in the beginning, when I started the stream, I said Vitali is hyper and rambunctious, and it wouldn't surprise me if he was actually coked out of his mind right now. The way he was calm and collected until that person in the back spoke, and then, holy shit, it was like, in your face, just movements. As Akash is beginning to read his messages, Vitali is getting off topic, laughing and changing the subject. This is someone's life and reputation on the line, and he's kind of treating it like it's a joke. The 911 operator is still on the phone, and someone behind the camera, who I think is the tattoo guy, says this.
For Indian, you're retarded.
I'm not sure why these guys are so comfortable with casual racism and now ableism, while also trying to play the moral high ground. The police finally get there, and in my opinion, after Akash has called them himself, you would think that the others would realize that a guilty man likely wouldn't have done that. And guess what? He was innocent. This stupid bitch who was so sure of herself never told Akash she was 16, like I said, so he fully believed she was an adult woman. So all this was literally for nothing. You tried to ruin an innocent man's life and image for clout. And Vitali posted a no-apps apology over this whole mess. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Bold enough to accuse him on camera of being a pedophile, but too pussy to apologize the same way. This was actually like the first initial apology. He did later do it through camera, but this is how you decide to start your apology tour? The Notes app? Go to hell. The apology is on the screen, but I want to talk about 3 different sections. He states that the work he does is the utmost importance. No, it's not. What do you do that's important, Vitali? You expose pedophiles, okay, and then let them go back home to live their lives. Beating them up ain't going to suddenly make them not pedophiles. They're not going to change their ways. He then says he removed the video from his channel, and he asked anyone with a save to do the same. I don't think that's to save Akash Singhania's image. That's to save Vitali's. And I hope every single one of these people gets sued for all their worth, especially this fucking loser with the face tats. I really hope your 15 minutes of fame was worth it, because you're going to need all that money Vitali gives you for being his little mouthpiece once that cease and desist hits your doorstep.